Hi everyone, it's time for that another rant. Like the new hat? Awesome. Jesse gave it to me. People are telling me the white is not me, so I was like, yeah, frick it. I'll start wearing a black hat. Anyways, tonight we're gonna talk about spiritualism. Not necessarily spiritualism in general. It is actually a new thing that me and Jesse stumbled upon within Wisconsin. We didn't know there was actually any churches in this area. Well, it is what spiritualism is pretty much started in the 1840s. A medium would get up and they would perform uh, psychic readings and that impressions for people when um, people need help in that, and sometimes they channel spirits in that. And well, we actually found a a church in the area that is actually haunted too. On top of it, which we're like, something that we're gonna probably be looking into. They only have a few services, like in like 2 months from now. They only do it for a short period of time. I really don't know why, if it's not like a consistent thing or not. Um, there probably might be others, but this one in particular kind of jumped out at me because I felt some energy from it that we might actually find interesting to do. Um, let's see here. You know, it's very it's a as a parapsychologist, myself, I do study other things, not just the paranormal, but powers, psychic powers, and that. I mean, it can be like a touchy subject. Granted, I consider myself as you know a medium myself, but I really don't go around flaunting it. I'd have to say. Occasionally, I would. I do it for fun, pretty much. Like I said before, I used to do the telephone psychic stuff, and I kind of leaned away from it myself. I think a lot of the drama. I'd say not the drama. It would be more the people's problems really really got to me, and it was the same thing over and over and over again. And I got to the point that I don't do readings for people anymore. Um, Sometimes they would be something tragic, and I left it as is, and it it's like I said, it's a touchy subject even for myself, and when it comes down to this stuff, people are paying money. They're paying money, you know, to go to these people. Or I hope this church that we found that doesn't charge money or has all the fraud type stuff involved with it. Um, See, like I know I like to do for fun is actually go to psychic mediums and that, or psychics, and go to their stores, and I would actually do evaluate them without them really knowing what I'm really doing there. Get a psychic reading done, and a lot of times I really don't let other people do it unless I trust them. Otherwise, I do, you know, card readings and stuff on myself. I really don't. I don't really care for other people, and especially when they do start charging money. It's definitely something that I really I, I'm on the fence about. I understand, people, get, they have a skill in life, go ahead and, do it. But But if you're making stuff up, that's a whole nother ball game. So, particularly what I'm saying here is what we would like to do this summer is go to this church, evaluate their process, and find out if they're legitimate or not. I do have some shows here. There's actually one on this particular church that really piqued my interest in doing it. Now, like I said, we're just going to evaluate this. We're not what is that word? Pushing this onto anyone or anything. We're just looking into it, and more than likely, what I would like to do in the long run, if this particular church lets us, is do a full out investigation. With cameras and that, and if these people are more gifted than me, even, I would like to not necessarily prove it, but if these spirits are here, I'd like some kind of proof, that the mediums have contact with them. See, that brings up something too, like me, for example, if we're out on a case and I start feeling something, a lot of times I'll try to keep to myself about it, or because sometimes there might be another spirit there that's not even related to the case. So I try to keep it to a minimum. I keep the technical side on the top versus just spitting things out. And like I said, I only will spit things out if it's really strong at this at a specific place. Anyway, let's watch this video. Switch over.
Well, welcome, fellow paranormal.
And again, it's not my video. It's all online. Just the name of it. You can check it out yourself if you want.
Well, here we are at White Star Church, just outside of Brussels, the city of Brussels, and we're with Reverend Mary Taylor. And she's going to tell us a little bit of the history of this place, as well as what spiritualism is, and that kind of thing. And she's going to talk to you now.
Okay. I want to say we're 4 miles north of Brussels on Highway C.
Nice. Perfect.
Just in case people end up coming here. I guess one reason we're doing this is because it's a ghost show. But another reason is because the White Star Church of Brussels is a well-kept secret, a very well-kept secret. And it's been here for 130 plus years. And it was founded by a guy from De Pere, came up here. His name was John Everts. His wife was sick in De Pere, and they could not get any help, and I guess she was dying, and finally they found a faith healer. And this faith healer, we don't know her name because it was 130 years ago, but she told John Everts that after it was a she, I'm pretty sure, after she healed his wife, she told John that he could do the same thing and he should give it a shot, but he had to quit selling spirits and start working with spirits. And he, at the time, his wife was ill, he owned a tavern in De Pere. So he came out here to all the homes of these rural Belgian farmers in the Brussels area, township of Gardner, which this is, and he channeled and gave little talks. I don't know if he did healings at that time or not, but then the people were very pleased and he developed a following. And so all these Belgian farm people went down the highway. At that time in the 1880s, they went to the Catholic Church down the road. And because spiritualism as such, there were no churches here, it did not exist here in this spot at that time. So a whole group of people and their families followed John Everts, and they liked what he did. And he then was the people who followed him and liked him decided to build this church for him so he could do his spiritualist thing. So that's how the White Star Church got built. So that's John Everts, our founder. And they say he was a very good psychic and speaker and healer. And so then I'm going to point out some other people while we're here. This is Rose Dwarsiker, who was once a pastor of this church, I don't know, somewhere around the turn of the century. This is her husband, Alex Dwarsiker, who was also pastor. That's the history of our church. Well, the big question to anyone watching this is, what is spiritualism? Well, spiritualism is a belief that life continues after death, and that we who are physical are able to speak to those who have passed on into the spirit world. A tip.
Anyway, you get the point. This particular place, she later gets into saying that the place is haunted on top of it. And me and Jesse were talking about it, like, well, what better place than a place that people communicate with spirits on a daily basis. It's not really my thing, really, but per se. I know they do seances and that here, and I'd have to say, not my thing anymore. I had my fair share. Anyways, having this place have so much activity, I mean, I can feel the energy just watching this clip about it. Stuff about her as well, but I feel that she's very wanting to expand on her own this church here, expand it, make it bigger. That's what I get a feeling out of it. But then again, I do know, just by the way she's talking, that it's been a secret for so freaking long that she wants it, people to come visit the church more. Well, she didn't have to necessarily really go into all that. People, people that are interested in stuff like this will, seek it out no matter what, or stumble upon it. And if it's something people are interested in, obviously they will go and see something like this, To me, faith healing is something that was really, really interesting to me. That obviously I do know, the frauds that are out there, and it's, speaking of that, I think we'll watch a video on, debunking maybe of a typical spiritualist. These, it's not particularly the belief in like a god or anything like that, but it is based all on spiritualism, or spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call it. And I have a feeling that not that many people investigate something like this, because can end up like they could make you look bad. To be honest with you, especially if you start you believe in everything they say, and all of a sudden you can't prove anything that it exists or whatever. And obviously you um, really can't prove that this stuff exists or not. Really, I mean, technical wise. But I do have another video. Let's see here. And like I say, I will watch a little bit of how I think this. I found one in 1994 or whatever video that actually how a spiritual church actually goes about doing their stuff, and then we'll go into like an exposing faith healers and that. I think it will have a wide variety of thinking here. All right, let's get into this. I might skip around because this looks boring as heck.
Bear that in mind, that you have to do your part, and you will receive the healing. Amen.
While we remain seated, it's time now for us to sit and enjoy and share Reverend Merrill and his cousin Lauren Galeota in their song of praise.
I had lodge meetings, Freemason meetings, more more active than this. Too much singing.
To those in need. And whenever I think about that path of love and that path of service, I always think of the great pioneer, the great medium back in the 19th century. And her name was Cora L.B. Richmond. And she actually was the first vice president of...
What I've noticed so far, they like to throw their history around.
This religion of spiritualism as a movement was spreading. So many people were interested in it. And her spirit guides, they told her at the age of 12 to give up her formal education. By the time she was 16,
I forgot to mention they do have spirit guides or angels or whatever that help them
and the different people in these audiences, there are many of them were very
do their services. That this reminded me.
Academics, people involved in science and medicine. And they would pose different, perhaps philosophical from
This guy speaks like 20 freaking minutes.
life.
She was affectionately titled the Hugger, and she's a great one for saying in this religion that she's been in most all her life, this is supposed to be a happy religion. And she comes in and smiles.
Anyway, once it comes down to, I'm not picking on these people. I'm not picking on anyone. Obviously, people's faith are their own. I'm looking at the aspect of the medium part of this. I'm not looking at, particular faith or anything like that. I mean, it is a religion. Touching grounds on religious talks. like I say, I try to avoid that at all costs. But and I'm not, like I said, I'm not picking on this religion at all. Um, I find it interesting. I find it very stimulating, and you know, I'm not far from these, particular people, and I, a lot of my own practices and stuff go along with it. I'm more of an investigator than anything nowadays, but like I said, I've always been interested in this, and if I can get one of these places to, demonstrate their abilities and how I can see how things are done in that night, that'd be kind of cool, but I'm not gonna say, yeah, you guys are a bunch of frauds and walk the heck out. That's not what it's gonna be about. It's I think that particular church that we were looking at, that it will be just strictly the spirits in there. I find spiritualism to be a really cool religion. Don't get me wrong, but me personally, I don't follow a specific path per se. Alright, let's get into one more video here. Let's see here. Alright. Darren Brown. He's like one of my best freaking guys I like to watch. A lot of the stuff I actually, he's a hypnotist in that, and I've actually took a lot of his practices into my own. But this one is about faith healers. So now when we actually start, filming stuff like this, or if they want to demonstrate things like that in front of us, that would be awesome. But like I said, it would be completely up to them if they wanted to do it or not. Obviously going on camera is a completely different thing. It's pretty much set in stone. Once it's out there, it's out there. Unless obviously they edited it out. Alright. This guy rocks. His stuff that he does, it's awesome. I recommend watching his other videos that he has.
We've researched the major miracles that faith healers perform, and now I want to show Nathan what I believe lies behind them.
Today you are going to witness the miraculous. The blind will see, the deaf will hear, limbs will grow out. These are faith-healing miracles, and I'm going to show you how to perform them.
Just take these hearing aids out. You foul spirit of deafness, take your hands off this woman in Jesus' name. How do I sound now? Loud. Loud.
Here is a popular miracle of making the deaf hear. I'm going to demonstrate this and some other miracles exactly as they might be presented at a faith-healing event like the one you can see here.
And now you can hear?
Yes.
The people you see being healed at these events are selected by the faith healers team, the catchers, who bring them up on stage to present them to the healer.
Darren, this lady's been deaf since birth.
All of our volunteers have genuine registered disabilities. I've merely asked them to respond completely honestly and imagine they were at a real event with an audience.
You can lip read? Okay. This woman has been deaf since she was born. She doesn't know what it is to hear. So you can read my lips. So I'm going to turn away and say a word. 27. Nope, she can't hear. She needs to lip read to hear what I'm saying. Let's heal these ears. She hasn't heard a word for 39 years. Without lip reading, she doesn't know what I'm saying to her. Heal this woman. Restore her hearing. I hate those devils of deafness. I hate those devils of deafness, and I cast them out now. I command this hearing to be restored.
to be restored now. How many clicks?
3.
Say Jesus.
Jesus.
She's no longer lip reading.
A miracle seems to have happened. But before I explain this, let's see another one, this time with someone who's registered blind.
Darren, this is Ian. He's been blind since birth.
Been blind since birth. And how old are you now, Ian?
46.
This man is 46. He has been blind since birth. This man has never been able to see. He doesn't know what it's even like to be able to see. Take a step forward for me. Let's start praying. Father, I command those devils of blindness to come out of this man. I command in Jesus' name those devils of blindness to leave this man in Jesus' holy name. Spirit, fall upon this man. Heal this man. Bring him back up, bring him back up. Come forward, come forward, come forward. Father, open this man's eyes. Ian, how many fingers am I holding up? Tell me how many fingers.
2.
He sees. Lord be praised, this man sees. Ian, I've got a handkerchief. Take the handkerchief from me. Take it from me. Follow me around. Come on, follow me around. Somebody
What?
praise the Lord. This man
The
can
hell?
see. His sight is restored. These are the miracles. Who believes in miracles?
He's been healed from blindness. But let's go back to Sophie and find out a little more.
Have I just really healed you of deafness?
No.
You are moderately deaf, but you're essentially hearing impaired. Yes, you can't really hear without your hearing aid if I face the other way. But all the clicks and everything you can hear anyway. Yes?
Yeah.
And you're not healed because, well, nothing has changed.
In a similar way, although Ian has genuinely been blind since birth, like most registered blind people, he has some impaired vision. And with the right lighting, he can see blurred shapes and colours, enough to see the number of fingers I was holding against my dark jacket.
Tell me how many fingers.
2.
Enough to see my bright handkerchief. And of course, his hearing helps him follow me around the room.
Follow me around. Come on, follow me around.
Both of these major miracles are created by allowing the audience to be misled about the extent of someone's real condition, then presenting things they can already do as evidence of change, when actually they're just the same as they were before.
In Jesus' name, left leg, I command you grow.
You can witness another popular miracle that faith healers often claim by typing "Street Faith Healer Leg" into YouTube. This impressive demonstration has been performed and filmed in a guerrilla style all over the world. I'm going to show you how this works with my co-writer, Ian Sharkey, who genuinely has arthritis and back problems.
Started in my hips, has now moved into kind of top of my spine, my back, hands. There's always something somewhere that's kind of constantly in pain. You just, you live with it.
Classically, what spinal arthritis will do is it'll shrink, as the muscles shrink, it'll shrink one of your legs back, which I think in your case it looks like it's on this side. Can I bring your legs out? Excuse me. Nathan, do you want to come and have a look at this? Oh yeah, that's a good couple of inches shorter. Can you see, Nathan, this leg here has shrunk a couple of inches. Can you see the difference between, if you look at the heels? So what we're going to do is we're going to heal the arthritis in your spine. Father, cast out that devil of arthritis and grow this leg. It's growing. I can feel that in my hand. I can feel this starting to grow. It's like the foot is, look, you can see it's coming down to the length of the other foot. Now you can feel that. Can you see this? Can you see that? That is, it's filling out. The calf is extending. The feet are now even. Those legs are now the same length. And you can feel that subside, yes?
Yeah.
Pain gone?
Yeah,
It doesn't.
absolutely
Now, stand up for me. Can you stand up? Run around, run around. Let me see. Just.
Easy.
How's your spine feeling at the moment?
Fine.
Genuinely?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not making this up. The spine is fine. Your leg,
no.
you saw that happen, didn't you? You saw that leg extending. You saw it, yes? This is all based on something that I put a lot of emphasis on this foot here, but as is what will be pretty obvious to most people at home, whenever you see them do this on YouTube, there's always a point. They bring the legs up, then they ask for the camera to come in, and all that's happening at that point is they just loosen one shoe. Not the shoe we're all looking at, but the other shoe. All the trick is going to be is, while we're talking about this leg lengthening, I'm just moving this shoe, just sliding it back on the heel. It's a very old, classic faith healer trick. But there's all sorts of other things I can make it sound like I know this is going to hurt your hamstrings doing this for a while, so I can say to you, you can feel this pain, can't you? So why don't we do this? And I say, and that pain's gone, isn't it? I lower your legs. You honestly will say
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But you're talking about this hamstring pain because of this. It's nothing to do with your spinal pain.
Absolutely.
Likewise, when you stand up, you're not limping. There's no limping. Well, you weren't limping before. No one said you didn't say you were limping.
No, no.
You touch your toes, jump around. You could do those things anyway.
Absolutely.
We said earlier on you're in pain all the time, but it's not in your spine, it's all over the place. But I can say to you at the end of that, and your spine is, how's your spine feeling?
It's fine.
It's fine,
Yeah.
because it wasn't hurting anyway.
Yeah.
It is the leg lengthening trick. It is absolutely the mark of a charlatan.
So the next step is to create a fake website. Pastor James needs to have an identity and a history that will look real to anyone looking him up on the internet. And like other faith healers,
Darren needs your help to expose this cruel scam by becoming
I'd say a lot of that are like a lot of them are like that, but then again, I know for a fact that there is something that might actually even be fairly more real. But obviously, you know, it's a good thing to keep in mind that this stuff can happen, and you know, learning the little tricks like that. Like I say, I'm me personally, I'm not picking on any religion or anything like that, and you know, I just find this stuff interesting, and I already said that. Darren Brown, though, that guy does some wonderful, weird stuff. I like a lot of the hypnosis stuff that he does, and I think a lot of it actually pertains to the mind. You know, a lot. You know, the mind can heal things too. You know, like I've said that plenty of times before in the past. Anyway, I'm going to go here. Any like religious discussion or anything like that, I might on the post down below. It really depends on your comments. If it gets kind of crazy, like I said, I don't allow any kind of bad or bashing kind of things on this channel. It is in the air, you know. It's all on a matter of opinion and what your beliefs are. Not mine, not no one else's. Just, you know, this is just showing you what's out there and what can happen. You know, there's all kinds of things that you know, when it comes down to the money part of it, be cautious. You know, there are those swindlers out there, and I'm not saying just because we watch this that they're all swindlers. There is some genuine, nice people out there that are really out there trying to help people. But, you know, if they're, you know, pushing that issue that, you know, they need an additional, you know, $50 because they need to, you know, make a candle at their special church, and that, or temple, or whatever it may be, or they need to go to a special river and you know, bless this, you know, crazy candle to replenish your aura or energy level. You know, a lot of times you can do that yourself, you know, or you have somebody help you. But it really does come down to, you know, if they say that all the time. You know, if they're saying, you know, an extra $30, I can get you this candle that can, you know, heal your leg that's been, you know, that you haven't been walking on in like forever or never, and this candle's gonna help you with that. And it really does come down to what you know, your belief, and if you're gonna believe it or not, you know. And yeah. Anyways, I have a lot of stuff going around in my head, as you can tell. I'm thinking about all kinds of stuff. I have a run to go to. They called me not too little bit ago. I know it's not, my rants are not as good as they used to be, but, hey, we might get some more videos. And it's, man, the weather needs to stop. We just had another blizzard today. So, anyways, comment, like below. Do you believe in, do people actually have real powers? Psychic, medium, telekinesis? Comment below. Later.